Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Rusty from Porky's Corner. You know, don't you? You know, because that's why you've tuned in. Uh, Today I'm joined by myself because I just felt that you can't just come in here on a Monday morning and just ring people up and say, let's have you on channel. All right, because people have got their own lives. So I thought I'd just do something on my own today. Uh, I'm on my own all week, yet again. Don't see a soul. Don't have no visitors. Isn't that great? uh, Only time I move out here is to go in the gym next door or to make a shake. Right. I'm not going to beat about the bush. Let's turn this phone off. I want no interruptions. Right. I watched a lot of boxing over the weekend. Overdosed on it as usual. That's what game we're in, isn't it? We watch boxing, we give an opinion, good or bad. Big shout out to Rob Kelly and Andy Patterson, is it? Steve Wellings, them boys on Asylum. Thank you for your kind comments yesterday. I've just watched it this morning. Listened to half of it in car and watched the rest of it here. Thought it was good last night. You see, them lads have got it off to a T, haven't they, now after, is it 11 year? So, pioneers for the sport, trust me. So, Team Asylum. Right. Frank Warren's show. What that? Frank Warren's show. The Matchroom show that's on at Newcastle. The Matchroom shows that we've had on. Are they any better than Mick Hennessey's and Dennis Hobson's shows? No, I don't think they are. They get stick, don't they, Dennis and Mick? But are they any better? No. Dennis has been making a bit of noise about getting Sky dates. So that Fort Fight Zone were the place to be, Dennis. So bit of wishful thinking on Dennis's part there, but good luck with that. But Dennis is not putting anything better on than Sky or BT, but he's not putting anything worse on. Same for Mick Hennessey and same for MTK for them shows they've put on. So this is what I'm going to say to all you people, right, who are hardcore boxing fans. Right, this is what I'm going to say to you when this camera's stopped wobbling about. Okay? Right. Go on to your box rec, press to whichever fight you want to look at, and then press event on the right hand side, and you'll get all the list up of the fights that were on that particular show. Now, what I do, I have statistics here on my computer because you need statistics before you can start opening your mouth. If you've got a big mouth like me, you need to back it up. How I back it up is with statistics. Now, it's all very well for me helping people out with my statistics, but when it comes for me to rinsing them, they don't want me to say anything. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Go on the right-hand side. For example, James Hawley, Mark Tibbs' former fighter, is 6-0. He fought a guy, Norton 11. Now, on the right-hand side, they're the opponents, right? For example, Dennis has just put 35 fights on in 4 shows. 33 home wins and 2 defeats. Now, they're supposed to be toe-to-toe fights. Now, how can that be? Because if it were toe-to-toe and they were all 50-50s, we'd have 18 wins and 17, but it won't be 33 and 2, it'd be 18 and 17 or 17 and 18, but it isn't, is it? And you see a pattern here. Now, if you go and look at all the guys on the right-hand side and you add them all up, the guys that are all Norton 11, 4 and 17 and 2, and Norton 9 and 1, and add them all up, all them on the right-hand side, usually if there's 9 fights on a show, 8 of them will have losing records. That seems to be accepted now, but it never used to be. The reason I know that is because I've got it all in my computer here. Go back 10 years, but go back every single year. Add them all up on certain promoters' shows. Add all them on right-hand side up. Add all them up on left-hand side. They'll probably be like 55, 3-0. And on right, it'll probably be 52, 403 and 12 or something. Now, if you add them all up, and what I do, I add them all up every year, and then I go back every year. And what you get is quality going down. Now, people might say, okay, you're too deep, or you're a gimp, or you're a geek, or whatever. No. Statistics make the world go around. Statistics. I'm a numbers guy, just like Eddie, except they're dealing with bigger numbers, aren't they? They're not dealing with petrol receipts for 75 quid and crying over a fiver, are they? They're dealing in millions. Now, in the last 10 years, you'll see a dip. Each year, 8 and 9% per year, every single year, 12%, then 15%, then 22%. And in the last 2 years, it's gone down massively. If you don't believe me, go and check. Go and check. Go and pick a certain promoter in the UK, put his name into BoxRec, and go and look at his shows and add them up. And then go back for that full year. It might take you a couple of hours. And you will see them why people like me are ranting and raving, screaming and shouting, and losing my cool over what's happening to this sport that we all love. I love boxing with all my heart. I always will. If I weren't doing this, I'd be at a show front seat every single weekend, screaming for whoever I liked. I love boxing that much. Whether it be a small hall show or a big show. If it were a matchroom show, I'd sneak in. I'd go get my ticket and get my popcorn or whatever. I used to take wine gums, but that's what I do. But when I'm seeing the sport go downhill like that, people say, oh, you hate the sport. You've no positives to say about it. Of course I have. I want change. I want the sport to change. But for it to change, the fans have got to get behind me, because nobody else is going to take the establishment on, are they? Because everybody wants to work with them. Steffi Bull has the same opinion as me. But he's part of the problem, isn't he? Because if you go and look at his shows, look what he was doing when he first started, and then look at his graphs on his, the quality of the opponents he puts on has gone down. Because everybody follows suit from the big boys. If Eddie Hearn starts putting garbage on, everybody else thinks they can get away with it. For example, them shows Dennis is putting on up here with opponents on right-hand side. Look at the shocking records. Dennis wouldn't have done that years ago. Go and look at a Clinton Woods shows and when he had David A, Carl Thompson and all them. Go and look at them shows and go and look what he's serving up now. But how can anybody have a go at Dennis when Eddie Hearn's putting the same on? Eddie's not putting that much better shows than Dennis. But he ain't putting worse ones on. It's all about the same. Is it a matchmaking problem? No, it's the fans accepting it. Everybody's accepting garbage. What a rubbish. What a rubbish, for example. Look who Bradley Skeet just fought. Look at the guy Bradley Skeet's just fought. Former WBO #1, 28-3. He's fought a guy with a shocking losing record. How can that be? Who's matching these people? Who is matching these people? Who's signing off on these fights? Who? Who is signing off on these fights? Who? Oh, somebody is, isn't there? And Mick Hennessy, some of them he's been putting on. He wouldn't have put them on years ago when he had Carl Froch and Barker and people like that, Lenny Dawes and them. He was putting better shows on. Because to look at what the big boys are doing, they think, well, they can get away with it. Their TV companies are putting up with it. So we'll get away with it. Because when our people, our quality controllers saying, Mick, Dennis, what are you putting on here? They can turn around and say, well, look what Sky putting on. Go to the box rec and average it out. How many wins, how many losses, how many draws the opponents have had, and the home fighters, and then look at it and compare that average with what Hearn and Warren are doing, and they're all pretty similar all across the board. All here. All similar all across the board. But what can you do? Nobody's going to make a stand, are they, against it? Are they just going to accept it? Oh, it's boxing, isn't it? It's a pandemic. We'll put up with it. Yeah, it's a night out. We'll get pissed up. Somebody's going to get hurt. 2 seconds. I'm going to find that thing here. I'll find it here. So another thing, Sky has charged £17, didn't they? 17 quid. For that Floyd Mayweather thing, and Sky Bet refused to take bets on it. I bet Mayweather were putting bets on it. Let me have a quick look. I think I've just remembered something. But yeah, it's. But I'm glad Daniel Dubois won. But let's have it right. He was in with a bin man, wasn't he? He was in with a bin man, wasn't he? Bogdan Dino or whatever. Where did they dig him up from? City Road Cemetery. So Dale Arrowsmith, 2-42-1. Two wins, 42 losses and 1. For Bradley Skeet, 29-3. Hey? Bradley Skeet, 29-3. Former world contender. That's unbelievable, that, isn't it? Right, against Dale Arrowsmith, 2-42-1. Now, I've been told off a good source that the British Boxing Board of Control have had a complaint over that. So somebody in the boxing industry has complained about that. I don't agree with that because it's telling tales in it, but as far as I'm concerned, they need looking at, don't they, for that? Because that is the worst matchup of the weekend. That is the worst matchup of the weekend. And let's have a look. Oh my God. He knocked him out as well. Let's see what round it was. So, doesn't say. Can't be asked with it anyway. But the point I want to make is Bradley Skeet against Dale Arrowsmith. Hey? And I thought I had problems. Jesus. But like I've just said, you can look at any show in the UK across the board, and it's all the same. We're being served up the same dribble. We keep hearing that promoters, we should be getting work. We should be working with Sky. Look what we're doing. Well, what are you doing? You're not putting anything better on than Sky. I don't see anything out there that suggests that any promoter in the UK is going to get Sky dates. Sky are probably thinking, what are we even doing with boxing here? Because it's going downhill, isn't it? It's happening in front of our eyeballs, but nobody's saying out, are they? So I just spoke about the Mayweather shambles. Daniel Dubois, he did that guy, didn't he? That Bogdan. He got bogged down, didn't he? He got bogged down in Bognor Regis. Jesus, 17 quid for Floyd Mayweather thing. Oh my God, Sky Bet refusing to take bets on fight. Did Mayweather have a bet on fight though? Did he have a bet that it got distance? Because I won't put it past him because he wanted a competitive fight, wasn't it? If he'd have had to get him out there in a round, he would have done. So, who's ever heard of an exhibition being fixed? Well, it's boxing, isn't it? It's got this heavy Hollywood number to it. Always has, hasn't it? But Bogdan Dino, though, Daniel Dubois. They had to give him a knockover anyway, didn't they, to come back? But do I want to see Joyce against Dubois rematch? No. I want to see Joe Joyce against Usyk because it's obvious that Anthony Joshua is not going to fight Usyk isn't it? Otherwise, it'd have been made by now, that fight, wouldn't it? So they're dragging it on and dragging it on. Aren't they going to make a decision this Friday? Apparently, is it this Friday or next Monday? I think it's this Friday deadline. No doubt somebody will point that out when that is. But it is what it is, isn't it? But which brings me to Tommy TNT Fury. God, oh my God. What were all that about from Tommy TNT? They put him in with that Scotch guy, didn't they? 2-0. They didn't even want that fight, though, did they? They wanted a guy, Norton 14, for his 6th fight. So Tommy Fury went life and death over 4 rounds with it. 4-rounder. I don't remember if it was 4 rounds or 6 rounds. I think it was 4 rounds. People in the industry saying it's a draw. I thought it was a draw, but they're going to get it to own fighter, aren't they? But what were Judge looking at, giving it every round to Tommy? I think he gave him every round, didn't he? Or referee or something. But the point I want to make is that Scottish kid, he needed a knockout to win, didn't he? But I thought he did enough to come again. And, well, I mean, looking at that from what I've just seen, Jake Paul, he writes Tommy Fury off, doesn't he? That's my opinion. Did I agree with Tommy getting booed now? Because I met Tommy, he's a nice enough kid. But they don't do themselves any favours, do they? Shouting and bawling about wanting millions to fight Jake Paul. Well, yeah, you've had 6 fights. And they're giving him all this PR, but it looks like he's a poor journeyman, doesn't it? It looks like it's a turd that's polished up. That's how I look at it. I don't think he wins a British title at all. I don't think he wins a Southern area. I think he probably gets beat against some journeyman. You know, I'd like to see Tommy Fury in with a journeyman who's probably had about 20 wins and 50 losses. Let's see him in with somebody with some real experience, not a 2-0 kid. Let's see him get in there with somebody who's had about 40 fights and probably won some of them. Somebody who at least knows how to win. We don't want to see him in with people that are 2-0. No, because that to me were a draw. They were both equal. And a 5-0 and a 2-0 kid should be equal, shouldn't it? But it is what it is. But then again, I don't want to see somebody on a debut in with somebody that's had loads of fights, because Dennis got caught out, didn't he, with somebody making his debut. They got beat against that Brett Fido, didn't they? Poor matchmaking, that, Dennis. And that's only one of the 2 losses that Dennis has had. Otherwise, Dennis would have had a clean sweep, wouldn't he? 35-0. Where he'd gone 33-2 in 4 shows. But they're supposed to be 50-50 fights. They're not 50-50 fights. Not when you're 33-2, as I just said earlier. But that's the norm now. That's what we're accepting. UFC don't accept it, so why should boxing fans accept it? I might as well do something else. I might as well be voice of hardcore cricket or snooker or something instead of voice of hardcore boxing. So, anyway, yeah, that's about it, really. I'm going to do some chest and triceps now. Go for a bit of lunch, I think, with my pal Scott. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you very much for all them people that are subscribing. It means a lot to me. And there's a join button below or a link or something. If it's not on this video, it'll be in a couple in the last few days. If you want to join members area, 10 videos a month extra. You get to see, plus you get to see backlog. What we're on now, month 3 or is it month 4? So it's all good stuff. So, okie dokie. Big shout out Clinton Woods. Hope you well, Clinton. Chris Smedley, hope you well. All right. Big shout out to South Yorkshire Packaging here. Big shout out to AJ Hobson at Innovation Alloys. Hope you well, AJ. I'll come and see you this week for a cuppa. Okie dokie. All right. Peace out.